I thought that was gonna take longer. Not saying you should quit your job and go rock climbing in Australia, but just do whatever feels right for you, and like don't be afraid to go down that path.
How do you think about like AI tools around creative process in general?
I have taken like kind of like an unconventional path.
We've all been trained on our own data sets, which is our lives, and then we're just parodying it out in a way.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Welcome to Software Slices, the show where every week we meet with a unique guest to build a unique piece of software with them that represents a slice of who they are and what they're working on. We're your hosts, Horatio and Aman, and today we're joined by our guest, Elliot Choy. Elliot is a New York City-based entrepreneur and creator who has amassed over 1.2 million followers on YouTube and across all other social media platforms, and even more memories along the way. Elliot, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for that very nice intro.
Dude, yeah, we're so excited to have you here today. I was just catching up on your last video where you were visiting college campuses. So much nostalgia there. A lot of your audience, myself included, have been kind of following you along the journey. We'd love to start with you just like taking us back to like the moment where you realize like, okay, I'm going to do this creator thing full time and this is my life now.
Yeah. Well, again, it started in college.
Yeah.
So I was just like kind of making day in the life videos, and I mean, they were doing well, so I was just like, oh, I'll just keep doing this.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, I think I was actually even searching for jobs all the way up until my senior year, going into like my graduation. And then towards the end, I was just like, I just made that split decision, like literally right before graduating, like I'm just going to go try YouTube and do it for a year and see what happens. It had been like, it had already picked up since then, so I was like not taking a huge leap, but yeah, I think it was just like, this makes sense for me to try. Kept doing it. It's been like 4 years since I graduated, and I'm still doing it. So it's been fun.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's been like a whole college lifetime.
I know.
After college,
don't make me
crazy.
Feel old. Like,
I mean, we're in the same boat.
Yeah,
so.
I know. It's like a literal whole college experience already.
I think, I mean, since we like met, we've been talking about ideas, like random kind of tech ideas or creator economy ideas, just like things all over the place. And you were like one of the first people I was like, we have to have on the pod to like build something because it'd be so much fun to go through that.
We do this like already.
Yeah, we already do this for fun anyways. So just like a rundown on the format of the show, like we talked about the idea before a bit. We spent some time prototyping a few things, and today we're going to basically take one of those ideas and try to get it to something that we could actually use and work on, maybe use just like amongst our friends.
Sweet.
So we'd love to start out if you could like explain kind of the problem and like the initial spark of the idea.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this before, but essentially there's two sides to it. Number one, I see like my friends all the time. We live in New York City, and like my friends all the time are posting their stories like, hey, I'm looking for a sublease July 4th to July 18th, like super random dates, just depending on their travel plans. And obviously with New York rent being high, it's like makes sense just trying to fill some apartment time and get some sublease rent. And I feel like they never find anything, because it's like, sure, you forward it over to a friend, stories last 24 hours. They just, who's really keeping track of their friends' exact dates? And sometimes I have other friends who are like, oh, by the way, if you have friends that are like looking to sublease their place, let me know. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this person, but like, I don't know their exact dates. The story's gone. I can't send it to them. I even had the same problem where like last winter I went to Asia for like 2 months, and I couldn't find anyone. It was just like, I have an audience too. And I don't think I put it out like to the full audience. It was just like to friends, but still couldn't find anyone. Maybe because like most of my friends are in New York, so they already have a place. But regardless, it was just like difficult to find a place. So like basically just lost rent for a few months, and it would have been nice if someone just like filled that spot. And I'm sure there were people that like would have been willing to take that spot. So it's kind of both sides, where like people want to fill their apartments when they're traveling, and then there are people that like actually want apartments in New York for like whatever reason, like for summer or for winter or just a week even, but it's hard to find that overlap.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so we prototyped some designs. Like what we have here is like 4 different routes that we can take that took the core of that idea. We gave it to to Replit agent here to just like prototype it. So we're going to spin through these, and then at the end you just let us know which aspects of each you kind of like, and then we'll see which one we run with to merge one key aspect.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So this is the first one that you can tell right away it's kind of very Airbnb-esque. I think the core thing for each one Also keep in mind, these are all just kind of obviously stock photos, not very New York City
Sure.
based or just like all over the place. So right now, this one is kind of pretty standard. It's basically like Airbnb. But what we would add, I guess, is the filter for the private network. So once you're ready to start listing, what we could probably add is, let me go over to demo user. Well, one thing we could probably add is the ability to just like have like a code. You share that code with your friends, and then they would log in and see your listings amongst like the feed as well.
Yeah, this one actually, I think it got messed up. It used to have that at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, because like one of the main things is like obviously you could just post your place on Airbnb, but you don't want to, right? You want it to be like a private network or like something where you trust the people. So this one just had like a basic kind of invite code at the front, so you could like send that out or even post that on like close friends or something and just get people to come in through there.
I think some of the later ones will have it.
Yeah,
that actually stuck
can just
with it.
jump through some of them.
So this one's basically the same thing, but you know, you go through here, you see a listing of stuff, obviously different. This one's more street easy-esque, I feel like, with the design. This one I know for sure has the prominent, you know, if you go to your profile, you've got this pin here that you can share. So it's like a 6-digit pin.
Got you.
And I'm pretty sure this one did get to a point, I tested it beforehand, where it was like, if I put this code in, I can start to see all of John Doe's listings amongst the browsing list. So maybe we could test that later.
So you like put the 6-digit pin in and it shows, oh, someone's network.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were riffing on like maybe I could see all of your listings or like people 1 degree away. So it's like I can at least validate like, hey, this person's legit. They're part of the network.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't want a random person staying in my place.
Yeah, and then maybe even like users and their profile could be able to say like, hey, I only want 1st degree or 2nd degree people to like look at my listings. And then the last one, this one does seem to have like the invite code at the front.
How much time did you put into like creating this
like
skeleton?
10 minutes.
Really? Yeah, within really 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's super quick.
That's why we're hitting these
crazy.
like little bumps along the way. It's like, oh, does this one have like this page broken, or which one implemented this feature?
Oh, cool.
I think that one's also a little interesting because knowing you a little bit, I'm on actually hooked this one up to a Notion database. So if you ever wanted to just like have sort of like a God mode, admin mode to manage and see what's going on in the marketplace. Hopefully it's all a trusted network, but you know, if you run with the app, you know, you'd be able to manage the whole database here.
The password's NYC 2023. I don't know why it's 2023 because it's not 2023 anymore.
Did they make that up?
Try it lowercase, maybe.
NYC 2023.
Okay, yeah.
There we go.
So
now
this
we're
is
locked in.
basically, so if you make it a bit wider, I mean, it's, it just pulls in the data from the Notion database and you can actually like add the listing and everything.
Oh, this is from the Notion?
This is from Notion. So it's like hooked up directly there. Because I know you were saying how for some like copyright stuff you use Notion on like on the back end. So I mean, if you edit something directly here on the Notion database,
maybe we could call this East Village Loft.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You can just pull from databases.
It just pulls from the database directly, and if you refresh here, it should
now it's East Village
Loft. So like updates
Loft.
the site directly.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Could update the price to 1,000. One more refresh, and
so this one was mainly to show like the Notion connection, which is actually pretty easy to set up if you do want to build off of that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, like, would it be like a very elementary version if it's like, let's say, I don't know, let's say total like 20 people use it. They could literally just go into the Notion, put in their information, and like it'll just update onto like a website form. Yeah,
I mean, it could go that way where like you share the Notion just with like close friends, and they use that to list their own stuff,
right? And
then you only share the app link to people who are like the other side of the marketplace. That
so
could be cool.
The purpose of the app link being like it's just another way to view it in like a more user-friendly way.
A more user-friendly way, or you could even do like you could like do payment processing, like connect Stripe, or do something like that through there
for like profiles and stuff.
Yeah, I think we got our pizza delivery.
It's software slices, so we have pizza while we're doing the show. All right, we're back. We got pizza now.
We're back.
We got Bleecker Street pizza.
Nice.
Today's Bleecker Street for software slices.
You guys should like also do like a pizza review, and then
I mean,
it'll be
yeah, we could do a little pizza review segment. What's your favorite pizza spot in the city?
Ooh, I just had this one. Oh man, I'm blanking on the name. They used to like something. Okay, they used to be chefs from like something Madison. Do you know what I'm talking about? I forget.
Torres.
I don't know.
Yeah.
East Village, or I think around
Torres
there.
Pizza.
They actually
Like Soho, I think.
Yeah, around
Yeah.
yeah. If you show me a picture, I might. I don't know.
they just
Really
went
good.
viral because Dave Portnoy did like
Mhm.
a pizza review there.
Oh really?
So now they're like packed.
They're like closed down this week, right? That one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the spot.
He gave it a 9.2,
Yeah, that's why.
Holy.
which is like,
I was
I
there
think-
before Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. We were trying to go.
yeah, we wanted to
beforehand.
get it last episode, but it was closed on Mondays for some
Mhm.
reason. It's like only open Wednesday to
Friday.
Saturday
Yeah.
or something.
It feels very boutique
Yeah.
there, and like there's like two guys, and they're just using one oven.
Yeah.
It's super slow, but
So
very good.
Yeah.
we'll try and
It's like
Nice solid.
I would say it's like pasta on pizza. Like think about like a really, I don't know,
yeah, it's like rich or
very rich
Yeah.
pasta with like, imagine like the sauce, but it's like on a pizza. It's really good. Yeah,
Incredible.
this is great too. I like all pizza, so
Yeah, it came pretty warm a little bit.
Mhm.
All right, so yeah, while you're eating, so this is the last one. This is the concept right now. I just resized it to do mobile because the concept was like, oh, what if it was a little bit more casual than the other ones where it's less of a marketplace where you browse, you could just sit.
yeah.
You add your, the profile of your home, maybe your availability for the summer, and that's your profile. And then in a second here, we'll show you, again, need a verification code to enter the network.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could start swiping left or right on houses that you want to stay at. And then if there's a match in availability, then you can, set something up, DM each other with subleasing each other's places.
That's cool.
I think this code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll say my profile. We're available next weekend. Just gonna add 3 random photos. We'll probably have to add actual photo uploading there, so they're probably empty right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty hard feature to do. So we'll do NYC home, and then say NYC 1 bed, 1 bath. We got Wi-Fi, etc. Complete profile. Let me just get started. Let me sign in real quick, and then we're logged in. Yeah, but that's pretty ugly right now. For some reason, it's just like showing all the photos see-through. I don't know why it chose that
Every place
design
at
element.
once.
It might be if like the backgrounds behind it are like all see-through, so
Mm.
that's why I did it. But I think it's got little check marks. Oh, something popped up. There we go.
Nice.
So like that's what It's a Match would look like. Obviously, that design needs a
Mhm.
lot more work.
Yeah.
This was like a one-shot app to start,
Yep.
but this is what we're starting with.
Cool. I was telling him I feel like the Notion one is like most MVP, like just like very easy to use. And then also like I guess this one is a little bit more like swapping,
Mhm.
which is like a little bit more of like a rare instance. So out of those, I'm kind of drawn to the Notion one. But I'm surprised how like good the UI is on all of those. Like, do you guys like give it direction or?
This was with like pretty little direction. Usually, if you
Yeah.
give like references of other apps that you like.
Oh
it
really?
could,
Like the design.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, I like Airbnb or
Oh
like,
wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I put anything for these. I think for trust stays, I might have said like mentioned Wander.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind of went for a little bit more minimalist. That's why amongst the others.
Got
But
you.
Other than that, yeah. Screenshots, like later we can add, towards the end, we could add more of a design element if you want to go a certain direction, for sure.
Great.
So we could even just do like off the Notion one.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you kind of curated the listings and like
Mhm.
you managed the Notion database, but then you shared like the link for other people to browse
Yeah.
and then like contact you somehow. That could be an interesting one, like to have that permanent place for them to live rather than just be on like an Instagram story that expires.
Right. I see that being like the most useful.
Mhm.
I don't know if I need to be the one contacted. Maybe
Yeah.
they could just contact them directly.
Yeah.
I'm really imagining it like in terms of like just selfish use.
Mhm.
Like, okay, like friends and I, it would be nice to have a place where like you could list the homes, and like it would just be like they could still post on their story, but this could just be like another spot for like very close network and people we trust.
Got it.
And they can just like know, like it doesn't need to be like, I don't know if we need to incorporate like messaging. Like I feel like that's kind of making it more complicated than it needs to be.
I mean, we could try to make
could,
it
yeah.
more like fun.
Yeah, if you, I mean, for like the features, if you want to build it in, I think that's cool. Like messaging and like,
yeah.
well, you mentioned like payment processing.
Yeah, what would be most useful, I guess, when someone's like staying at your place? Like, what do you have to?
I guess, like if we were to do profile, then like, maybe some way to like express interest, like other than just like directly reaching out. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm just thinking about how like you were able to express interest through like the swiping. I'm trying to think.
Are you thinking the people who'd come on to express interest are also like friends who are contributing, or would it be like any like more open?
I feel like it would be a mixture of like people who have places, so that's like the supply, and the demand is just like people who are looking for sublets for either a specific date or like they want to just come visit New York at some point and need to look at what's available, and maybe they can even plan their trip around that based off of what's around.
Okay, it's like a curated Airbnb with like the trusted network.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Right now, this one is like completely open, so I wonder if we should add some kind of like gating. So only like codes felt like the easiest way because like just use this kind of.
Oh, so that not everyone can just like come in.
Not everyone can like see
so,
like your
fair.
address or like where.
Like when you're out of town.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Yeah, I feel like that you have that, right? Like gating.
Yeah.
right now?
Well, this was on another app.
Yeah, we didn't
so
have it on this
we
one.
could take like this
Oh.
piece of it and then
I
bring
like
it over
that.
bring it over to the Notion one. So you could, I guess maybe for this session that we have here,
Yeah.
we can add profiles with the pin, and then that's kind of the main start.
I almost feel like the
security
profiles is like, is it completely? I don't know if it's completely necessary. Like, just I mean, literally, just like I feel like the function. I'm thinking about like the user functionality, which is like pretty much like, hey, someone puts on their story, I have this sublease. I'll be like, no one, you're never gonna get a sublease through this.
Yeah.
You're never gonna find a renter through this. Like, this is my network of friends, or like, you know, some of their friends. So like +1 or, you know, very tight, whatever. Maybe, I don't know. In the beginning, it'll be tight.
Okay.
Who knows where it'll go? But then it's like, put your place up here, and like, you know, like people who are searching have access to this already, and maybe you can find someone that's it's a little bit of a broader network than just like your Instagram following. And also it can live there for like the next 2 weeks before you have to go, rather than 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm imagining it.
Yeah.
And then also on the like sublease C or whatever side, it's like on the renter side, if they're looking for a place in New York, they can just go on and like maybe there's some supply already, instead of just like, oh, random story here, and it's like all over the place.
Got it.
Okay.
So what gets shared to lead them to the site? Like, are you imagining you could just share the URL and then trust that the people who are visiting the URL are okay to see it?
Yeah, that's a fair point, because like, I guess they could just share the URL too. You're saying like it could just lead to like
It'll cascade.
yeah.
Like you break open Raya for a week and then everyone's in there, but worse for your house.
Maybe there needs to be like approval process, like that could be like from an admin side. Maybe there could be like a, hey, do you know this, like
like who do you know?
who do you know, like literally who do you know, and then I could like ask this person and be like, do you know this, you know, how
This is
close are
Elliot
you?
guy.
Yeah. Or they just
Why does he want to
So,
stay at my house?
I feel like I feel like a approval process is good.
Okay.
I wasn't like, to be honest, I'm not even thinking about scale.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking that, you know, I
That's
trust
true.
everyone that I would send the link to. So
Yeah.
I wasn't imagining that they would send it to someone else, but maybe they love it so much they just want to share it.
The other
and it gets out.
the other idea I was thinking of was like when you see those stories,
Yeah.
if you could like easily upload just like a screenshot of the story and it like automatically adds it to the database. That could be another.
That's
one.
fair. I feel like usually there's a little bit of like a follow-up when you reach out. It's like you have all this you have this conversation that's like, okay, like what dates, like how much, there's like a negotiation, maybe you want to see more pictures of the place because usually it's just one. People, like, if you're gonna live there for a week, you might, you probably care how the place looks like, and maybe there's a disclaimer, there's no Wi-Fi here, by the way. So like it would just be nice to like not have to get rid of that friction, and you could just like see it all on like a listing.
Awesome.
Okay. I was saying we could make like a listing, maybe like a listing page, like for the specific one, because right now if you click into it, it just has like the contact info, I think. But maybe we can like let it expand and put some of those like details about the listing.
More of the profile,
like the more on like the specific location, like details about the space.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you'd expect from an Airbnb or something else when you.
Okay. And then we'd have to like kind of adjust the Notion table, right?
Yeah.
Would it work that you add like another table on this table? Like
you can just add more.
Like boom. Oh yeah, I guess we could just add more fields.
Yeah,
to this
you can
list,
just
to
add
this row.
Further, like add more columns to the specific
Photos.
listing.
It can also be like I don't know if you make a parameter for every single characteristic of a home. I feel like if you just put like a description,
like
people can put in whatever they want.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
So
we can start with that. Just like adding a
listing profile or listing
like
details.
listing details, description.
Then we'll go from there.
Is there search functionality right now?
Right now, there's not.
Not at the moment. Just kind of filtering based on date, neighborhood, and price.
I see. Well, that to me is search. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, based off of price, date, and neighborhood. I feel like if it's New York City specific, that makes sense.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Say peace out. Maybe we'll leave that one later for if we need the code. So let me start a new chat. And then say take a selector. Where's the card? Say, all right, so I'm gonna whip up this tool called Wispr Flow to like prompt it. Okay, so one of the things that we want is when we select on any of the cards, we want to be able to open and view the profile. The fields that we want to see and the data that we want to see include description and photos, which will be in publicly available URLs. For the Notion database, I have to give it like how specific should I be?
You can just ask. You can ask the agent like, what should I change? Like, let me know what to change in the Notion database, and it can probably tell you.
After I send this request.
Yeah, or you could do it as a part of there too. It should let you know.
Change the Notion database, if anything. Boom. All right. Now we let them cook for a little bit.
Yeah. While it's going, we can like jump into some kind of questions. We'd love to like learn more about you and your journey. I mean, this tool is useful for like when you're traveling, so you can put your place up. I know you were like in Asia earlier in the year, and one of the things you did was like go to some of the factories that work on the clothes and work on the production of copyright. I was curious to like hear about that. Did that change your like perspective at all about what it means to like build the business and build the clothes, and like did you learn anything while you're there? Yeah,
that was like, you know how like you don't know what you don't know? Yeah. That was like one of those moments. I mean, I've been doing clothing since we started that copyright in like 2020. So it's been a while, but previously like we would like print on blanks and like we weren't making anything from scratch. So I'm still pretty, I would say, novice to like actually producing clothing from scratch. Cut and sew is what they call it. So then going to the factory, which we've already like wired them lots of money and like have worked with them before. So trusted partner, but then actually going into the supplier's factory, they, by the way, they're very like hospitable and like, they take care of you. And we had like dim sum before we went off to the factory. So just like in general, like, not culture shock, but like really cool to just see the culture there.
Yeah.
But then, once we're in the factory, like seeing how things are made, it's like we were able to see like kind of like other brands that they produce for, other pieces that they've made. And it's funny, like we did the whole tour, which took the entire day. And we were kind of like wrapping up. And I had seen their sample room, which is like they have this, you know, room filled with like pieces that they've made for other brands and other competitors and whatever, just to like showcase like their capabilities, which is great. But then I was like, do you have more samples? And they're like, yeah, we have like 2 other sample rooms. And I went, and like it was just like a literally like conference room filled with clothes, and like it was really messy because like it wasn't their showroom. It was more just like really raw, like
Sample.
This is everything that we've made. So I just like was digging through there for like a few hours. Like, how'd you make this? How did you make this? Like it was crazy. And I think like sometimes you can be like embarrassed because you're just like, oh man, I'm a fraud. Like they're gonna find out that I know nothing.
Yeah.
But you know, they're there to help, so they'll be like, oh, we use this fabric for this, and we use this technique for that. And like, again, I'm still new, so it's just like so crazy to be like, hey, tell me what this technique is.
Yeah.
How did you achieve this look? It's like so helpful. So I would say that accelerated my like learning, like probably, if I hadn't visited, like probably two years worth. Wow. At least. Yeah. Just by going.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't know.
Take the flight and just get hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important is it to like be so close to that for your creative process, to like see the whole journey? I know a lot of people just kind of order things and don't really go behind the scenes, and it's just like the brand and the logo.
Yeah. Which you can totally do that. Like, again, like we kind of did that for a while. So you don't need to, but it just helps because like you can connect the dots and be like, hey, this is like where things are actually made, and like this is what they're doing, and you just kind of like get a look into that process.
Yeah.
And then you could be like, oh, like they do it this way, and like maybe they can do this next time for us because I found out that they do it a certain way. And yeah, I don't know. I just think you, for the most part, you just learn a lot, which is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Just taking action and diving in and seeing what hits. Kind of like this. So looks like it just completed on one of the requests. Oh, okay. So it just, well, that just looks like it zoomed in. Let me open a new tab. NYC 2023. Oh, okay. So it's a little, right now it's just a modal. We just have to add more photos down here. Could you add multiple?
Yeah, I think it's using like a default photo right now, but if we wanted to upload, I mean, we could.
Yeah. I feel like that's always like, the way that photos are presented is always like a kind of complicated, not complicated, but I feel like that experience is very different depending on the platform. Sometimes it's like you can click like right on the master page like before even clicking in. Sometimes it's like you have to like actually click into the pictures and then it expands, and then, you know, so I feel like there's some nuance there.
Yeah, running a fashion website, you probably have like a good experience on setting those up as well. How would you like it? Like what do you like?
I feel like if you pressed into it and you could like just scroll right there with an arrow,
like go to multiple photos.
Yeah, I feel like this is, I mean, maybe you could expand it further, but I feel like you don't like
just carousel through it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to see like zoom in, you know, like there's like hover zoom and all that stuff.
I can add a couple photos to the Notion, and then you can just say to like, are you doing it already?
I got like 3 apartment photos. They're very random.
I added one that I just downloaded.
Okay.
From like Street View.
Let's see if it does 2.
I haven't actually used this.
Yeah, oh, that's a nice apartment.
Well, then there's like a penthouse, and then there's one that shows like a completely different neighborhood of like the view. Yeah, like that's not the same neighborhood.
This is a great listing. Let's leave this one up forever.
Yeah, it's the OG. It's the first child.
We can work up to it, you know.
Yeah.
Try to attract that homeowner.
Exactly. Oh, it looks like yours replaced it.
Oh.
Maybe
is there only one allowed?
Maybe I didn't save
at a time.
All right, we're figuring out Notion database half the time on this. Here we go.
Do you use Notion a lot?
Yeah, I do. I use it more as like a library.
Yeah.
And like a database kind of, but there's some cool functionality in there.
Cool. Let me just I'm going to give it a screenshot of what is in here in Notion so that it knows. I'll say,
that's crazy.
And I'll tell it, can we make the image view a carousel if we have multiple photos? This is how it's stored in the Notion database right now. And then I'll select the little image area so that it knows which element I'm talking about. And then we'll let it go.
That's crazy. Do you normally use voice?
I really like it because I also write like a ton of email during the day. And so I just like rapid fire through them.
You write your emails with voice?
Mm-hmm. Like Wispr Flow. And you can format the outputs so that you can tell it when I say link, then a link can form. Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Dang.
Yeah.
What's your email like provider?
Gmail. Just regular regular Gmail.
But then how are you, is there a feature in there? Like, or just like
Apple?
it's
any text box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a plugin that you get on your MacBook, and then you could just speak into any text box and it pastes it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might need that.
Sweet. Yeah.
I mean, nowadays it's just the AI has like pre-written emails, but
yeah, you got to be like Tony Stark, just
when
like
it
pinching
doesn't-
stuff with like glasses.
I saw like a random TikTok the other day, and they were doing like they're DJing with this.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, they were able to match like pitch and tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think
And,
I saw something
I was
like
like, wow, we're really close.
that.
Like that is such a great example. I mean, those are kind of the coolest things for me, where it's like previously, like if you didn't know how to DJ, you wouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the biggest barrier, right? Someone might be like a really great DJ, but maybe the barrier to like learning how to use that machine, like a controller, is preventing them. But now, just do this and like figure it out. It's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy times.
We should spin up a DJ, learn how to DJ tool.
Yeah.
A DJ app. Next
Tempo.
episode.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Sweet. So if we click it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like how it's zoomed in, so we'll probably tell it like on this screen size.
How long would that have taken, like, if you were just doing the front end, coding it, hard code?
Take a while.
We used to manually type it character by character. Honestly, it would have taken me back in the day like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take some time.
Yeah.
You also have to choose like how do you want to do it. Like this kind of abstracts a lot of the decision making away too.
Right.
There's like different ways to implement things, right?
Yeah.
So it like makes assumptions and does things.
Right.
Which is like good sometimes and annoying sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if they get it right, it's like,
Yeah.
saves a lot of time.
Yeah. I guess the main thing we can ask it like, hey, on the modal, it's like not big enough, or will that mess things up too much? Or we'll just tell it like the modal's a little big.
What is this when you click?
Yeah, like the dialog box when it click into it on like, I think in the between like a large screen size and a medium screen size, it kind of ballooned it, right? So I'll just tell it ballooned like really, like it's filling the whole screen, but if I go back out, like that's normal sized.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's just kind of annoying. I guess no screen size is gonna be like we're like an iPad mini right now.
Yeah.
Can you click through that, like, if you open it?
Yeah. So everything's clickable. It's the same thing that you can see out here. It's just we're in like a weird screen
Can you click right there?
on
The arrow?
Oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
and then the X is right there. But yeah, that's
sick.
I mean it. Yeah, where do you want to take it next?
I thought that was gonna take longer. What else did we talk about? We talked about like that's crazy.
Yeah, it just works.
Yeah.
Description. We talked about the image scrolling. I mean, I don't know. It's ambitious to be like, okay, you could also just scroll like on this page
Scroll
without having to like see the images in detail. Like the
carousel.
same. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that should be pretty easy too. Like the carousel on this card directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bring the carousel up to front too. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
I actually-
Most of the like interface changes are pretty quick, honestly.
Okay.
yeah.
Is there like a structural thing we talked about? The invite code, I guess.
Yeah. How you'd want to keep it private
Yeah.
as like a safe keep
I guess that's like approval, if that's possible.
approval queue.
Yeah, or like,
There could be like a network. Like if I add you, you have to like use my specific code, and then you get your own code or something, so that there's like a attribution of who brought who into the platform, something like that.
yeah, that would work.
So
And
yeah,
you
like
can't get
this-
in without a code, so you need to give the code.
Yeah.
You need to give a code. And the attribution is just like so that on the back end you could be like, do you know this person?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
can
have like a
trace it back.
chain. You can like trace back to like, oh, how did this person get into the platform? Even though it's like small network, it's still, I think it's still cool to have like a trace.
That sounds foundational.
So we could do that.
If the UI stuff is too easy.
I mean,
we'll take it.
yeah, or we could. I don't know if there's anything else like. Yeah, it just kind of built it.
New table. Could call it users. Not too familiar with Notion, so bear with me.
Yeah, you're all good.
Wait, can I clear this one? I don't want to delete it.
But do you want to
Like
create?
we created a new.
I think
table
we'll create
for
a
context.
new page. Actually.
Oh, completely
Here,
new Notion page.
Yeah, I can do that. While you're...
that'd be great. If you can whip it up. Yeah. In the meantime, on the topic of like front end changes and design, you were just telling us about going to the factory when you were starting Copyright. On Copyright's website, on the About page, it says, live life by design, not by default. And I'm sorry if I butchered that. I didn't get it exactly. But yeah, when you wrote that originally, how were you planning on designing your life? Like, what did you imagine? What does designing your life mean to you back then?
Yeah.
And what does it mean to you right now? How are you designing your life?
For sure. No, that's a good question. I think like the phrase like live by design, not default is kind of like going back to when you're in like I came up with it in college, and it's just like there's like this default route, right? Like, and I think we all start off on the default route when we are in that stage of life where you kind of like, I was like a business major, so the default route was like try to get a good internship freshman year. If you don't, then try to do an unpaid internship. Sophomore year, get a slightly better internship to hopefully get like a return offer for junior year, or like try something more experimental because it's still your sophomore year. Junior year, try to get your offer, so like go do an internship, try to get an offer for post grad, and then you just go work there after you graduate. At least for business, that's just like the standard, and I think for a lot of different fields too. And then like I started doing YouTube like my sophomore year, and I was like, freshman year I didn't do anything, but then like sophomore year I took an internship. I was kind of like going down that route. I was actually very close to going into like consulting finance, and then I guess like COVID happened, so there's kind of that. But because YouTube was kind of picking up sophomore year, my junior year summer, instead of like looking for an internship, I just decided to do like a creator house in LA, and I put that together, and like it just felt more like in line with what I wanted to do. And then I would say like I have taken like kind of like an unconventional path where technically I've actually never even worked like a proper 9-to-5 because I've just been doing my own thing since graduation. So yeah, I think it's just like it aligns more with like who I am as a person, like how I'm wired, what I'm able to like. I don't know, I think I work way harder when I'm working for myself, and it just happened to like align with me as a person. That's not to say that like it aligns with that's the right route for everyone. I think like everyone has their own like characteristic and personality and like tolerance for these things, like risk. So yeah, I think it's like it's not necessarily like go off the beaten path. It's like more like just do whatever feels right for you, and like don't be afraid to go down that path, because there is like a default that kind of like people encourage, but that's not necessarily like a clear-cut route. And as we get like further into our careers and life in general, it's like that's very clear, right? It's not like get married at a certain age or get this specific job, and like 2 years after your first job, you're supposed to switch. Like, yeah, sure, there's like general like guidelines and stuff, but I feel like just I have friends that just were on this like very amazing default route, and then they just like quit and like moved to Australia, and like they go like rock climbing and like I don't know, just like stuff like that. So not saying you should quit your job and go rock climbing in Australia, but do whatever like you kind of want to, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of kids these days have like the goal to grow up and become a YouTuber, become a creator. You probably get the question all the time, like, what would you do if you were starting right now? Or like, what would you recommend to people who want to go down that path and design their life around making content.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like easier. You know, it always gets easier and easier. Like, even when I started, it was like easier than it was, you know, 5 years before I started. So it's easier because like there's more accessibility to editing, cameras, platforms. So I would say just to like take advantage of that. Short form is a good place to start. They're like literally like TikTok was not around when I started. Neither was Reels. Like there was no short form. So there's like kind of a whole nother space, which is really exciting. And yeah, I think it's like a good way to kind of get your foot in the door. People get like scared. They're just like, oh, I don't want my friends to judge me. Like there's literally ways around that. They have like trial reels now, so none of your followers see the post that you post, and it just goes out to non-followers. So there's just like so much cool ways to kind of get your foot in the door and like get started. So just make some videos and post it. I feel like people do ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you just have to start. You just like make a video and you post it. And it's probably bad, but like you have to make bad videos before you can make good ones, just like any other field. So you should probably just like get started.
But one caveat is that your first video was a banger, to say the least. When you came to YouTube and you intentionally, I mean, you researched, you knew as you were planning, like as a background, like you saw that day in the life videos in college were taking off. You didn't see one for Vandy, so it was like, you know, clear cut business case that there was a market for it, and then you just delivered it and you took off. You gave the great strategy, like just post a video, but if you had to pick a theme to like kind of send someone on, like, ooh, like this theme, like this topic is pretty good to like get started. Like if you want to set off like a little bit to create a core audience and then maybe pivot towards like lifestyle or whatever and content that someone wants to create, what would be that theme?
I think if you want to take like a strategic route, like basically what I did for that video is like think about what there's kind of like a demand for. So at the time, like these day in the life videos were doing really well, and I saw, you know, hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions of views on some of the like more well-known colleges. And I saw like colleges and universities that were like less popular than Vanderbilt, where I went to school, and they still had like hundreds of thousands of views. So I was like, okay, like I should at least get a few hundred thousand views if I make a video that's better, because there should be a market that's at least the same size, if not bigger. So that's like market sizing kind of, and like just like looking for like gaps in the market. But then I got lucky. Like I was in college at the time, so I happened to be like the right person to make that video. Even if someone wanted to make that video, saw that opportunity, but they weren't in college, like it would have been really difficult for them to execute on that. So there's like, you know, right time, right place. But that came from like searching for kind of opportunities online. And then you said like that first video was a banger, but that's like my first public video. Like a year before that, I had a different business, like selling stuff on Amazon, and I got like 50 views on those videos, and I would like, that's only because I spammed it to my friends, and probably watched like 20 of those views are my own computer, just like refreshing. So yeah, it's not like a one-hit wonder. It's like there was, I failed a lot too before that first video.
You studied the game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, then I didn't study it, but then I realized like, okay, if I study it, I probably have a better chance.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I added a Notion invite page. Let me,
Cool.
If you go to the secrets, you can grab it from there.
Okay. Is there the table still going to be in here?
It'll be in a
different?
separate page.
So secrets.
It's Notion page URL too.
Okay.
If you
Can I copy it directly?
You might have to
chat?
refresh, actually. I think you have to refresh the whole page.
This is URL too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I just tell the agent to check it out?
It's already set up, so open that link on your browser. It should just be like another Notion page.
Oh, perfect.
And it has like,
Cool.
so it preloaded it with a name and a code.
Cool.
So this is basically like creating a bunch of different codes that people can use, I guess. So we could tie that name to a specific person, maybe.
Okay.
Is the code custom? Like anytime you put in a code, or is it randomly like generated?
Right now, it just like kind of randomly pre-filled it with some data, but we could we can maybe say like when you get to the app, you like enter your name and then get a custom code or something, or how are you thinking?
I don't know, Elliot, what do you think? Maybe we start, because you know, if you start this intimate, maybe you have like 24 codes that you just hand out to friends, or would you like to have the network sort of just like handle itself? Like you don't want to have to manually invite anyone.
I mean, I would rather it handle itself, but like, I guess in terms of when the code is generated, let's see, like you get an invite link when you put your name in, and like you get in using the invite link, you get your own code. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but then you don't see anything, right? Like, because you don't have.
Yeah,
you haven't been invited by anyone yet.
Yeah, or like when you invite someone on the like supply side, you could like create the code for them.
Oh yeah, I guess on this demand side, like, do you need a code to even look at this stuff?
That's what I was thinking, because to keep it private.
Yeah, I guess so. Is it just like a lot of code generation? Like,
this is where it's gonna get.
Is the only purpose of the code for security, and can that be bypassed by just like changing the code occasionally rather than like attribution?
Yeah.
Like, is there a need for? I mean, it's a nice feature. It's a nice to have. Yeah. Like, oh, this person, because they use this code, was referred by this person. Like, that could be. I feel like that is a cool feature. Just from like the admin side to be like, yo, I'm on stop like sharing this code to everyone. Like you invited 50 people and like they're all crazy. Yeah. I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah. Then that's like an extended to profiles, and then we'll get tangled. Maybe we could do that off. I mean, if you want to take it on your own and run with it, we'll definitely add that in.
Yeah, it could for general purpose. I feel like security, just the general security code is useful.
Like back to this one, that's kind of why I had the regenerate feature, but we could automate it for sure. Like every week it regenerates. But yeah,
I'm not like too concerned about like
security across friends
at a smaller scale.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess in the meantime, maybe we could add a couple more like aesthetic changes, like anything else that you'd want to see.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is like, when you open this link, does it crop the image when you scroll through, or does it show the entire? So like if you click on this specific listing and expand and show off the like,
it's like cropped. It
is cropped
to fit that thing.
So then maybe it makes sense to have this be like an expanded version instead of built-in. Which, I mean, if it were to show the full image here, that's great too, but then it's kind of less pretty because like it'll show borders and stuff. So maybe it's like
a gallery,
so like
type
a double
thing.
Yeah, maybe like if you click on it, it's like it'll actually expand. And then we don't need the scroll functionality here. It would just need to be on the expanded version. And then potentially the scroll functionality is better in like the master view, because then you could quick glance.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's try it.
I've been looking at a lot of like listings recently, and that really annoys me because I want to be able to like just quickly look.
But you also want to see the full thing.
Yeah, but I want to see all the options and like just parse quickly, but it's like I have to click into each link and then it just
So on the like card on the homepage, you can add the carousel, so you can click through, but then when you click in, show like the full thing.
Yeah. Do you want to add like a gallery button right here, maybe?
Yeah,
you can see it's right to the left. Yeah, like, it could be like a gallery icon, and that's what opens it.
Yeah, or like full size view or something, full view or something. Yeah, cool. I don't know. Gallery view is great.
Full size.
I just wonder, like, I don't know how it is on other sites. Like, I don't know, like,
and Zillow and etc.
I don't know how people know to click on it and then it automatically. I feel like they would normally just click on the image.
Yeah,
and then it'll expand.
Cool. Yeah, we can just say when you click on the image, it should expand.
Sweet. When we click on the image, I want to expand the gallery of photos to their full size so that they're not cropped to the container size. So when I click on the image in the carousel, do that.
I wonder if it'll interpret it as like like how will it show it full size? Will it be a pop out, or if it'll be like
Yeah, I'm not sure what it would do.
Could give us a surprise.
Yeah. While it's cooking, I was gonna ask. So we were talking about the. I feel like you're very tactical in like how you approach everything. Like obviously like the business, and also the channel and like what you do. But then there's also this layer of like authenticity where it doesn't feel like everything is rehearsed. And I think that's what people really like about the content. So I was curious, like, how do you maintain that authenticity and like being relatable when you're talking to millions of people?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like you got to pack. If you just like ramble, it will not translate well to like a YouTube video. Mm-hmm. So I guess there's a little bit of structure there, but I guess when you have the structure, once you're with it, like once you're just like, okay, I'm going to film a talking segment and I want to talk about XYZ. When you have some sort of like some boundaries, like you can then just like kind of talk about whatever. So then I'll just like ramble within that topic, and then I feel like I cut it down a lot so that it's like more coherent. But yeah, I feel like that just like free form talking directly to the camera is something that I do, and it's just like we cut it down and make it a little bit more engaging, but that's just usually just like me talking. So yeah, I try to keep it real.
Yeah. And so given that that's, you know, content creation is a business, you know, and a common thing for all businesses and entrepreneurs is burnout. And even if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you could always step away from a business, shut it down, sell it. But for being a lifestyle creator, you know, it's very intertwined with your daily life. Mm-hmm. So how do you tactically approach stepping away, taking a break when you feel burnout around content specifically?
I mean, I'm not the best like example of this, because I literally will just like disappear. Like I've taken breaks like almost up to a year before, and I feel like people understand, because you know, I feel like you can get the gist of like how draining it could be to like always point the camera on yourself. So I'm very grateful and like blessed to have a amazing audience that just like is there when I get back. But I think like that's because I've built up kind of trust and loyalty, and just like I've always just tried to keep it real. And if you are just like making videos to make videos, people know that, and I'd rather just like not make videos if I'm not feeling it, rather than just forcing it. So I haven't posted in like a month. So I'm on one of those little breaks right now. I mean, it's not because I don't want to make videos. It's like I'm focused on a bunch of stuff at copyright. So yeah, it's just like a balance really. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm gonna post in like a week or two, so it'll be fine. But yeah, I think it's a balance, and that's like a big fear for creators, is like, oh my god, if I skip this week, my career is over. But people take like 5 years off and come back too sometimes. It's like not the end of the world.
It's life.
Yeah.
Awesome. Looks like we got our clickable result.
Is it working?
We'll go back to this one. Refresh. So pull it up, open it. Oh, yuck. Well, it kind of had to give it a larger it did the non-cropping, but it's just like not centered.
Oh.
Hopefully there's not like invisible, you know, an invisible background.
Try going to the next one.
And yeah, the next one's a little vertical, so that's what's taken up.
Are you zoomed in here? It looks fine on mine.
Oh, really?
Oh, actually, no, it's messed up.
Yeah.
It got the pop out, right?
Yeah,
though.
it got the right.
Got the pop out. But it kind of adheres to this one. Or it should at least center all images.
Yeah. Make sure they fit in the screen.
I think that's how it should go. Yeah.
Like fit to size without cropping.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll grab a little screenshot.
The screenshot is crazy.
Yeah, just like it can kind of see what it's doing, right?
That's crazy.
Okay, great. We got the pop out of the images correct. However, let's make sure that images that don't take up the full container size should be centered, like this example here. And then screenshot there.
I feel like we'll get to a point where it's just like you're just talking like as if you're talking to a developer.
Yeah. I mean, You could kind of do it right now. Like we still have to
Yeah.
interact with it and test it out, but yeah, I think pretty soon it'll feel like you're just talking to someone and it's kind
like
of
you're on
cooking up.
like you could probably just like move your mouse around. Be
Yeah.
like, oh, like this area here, like
hmm
add something. Or,
You can do that already. Like you can kind of like draw over, be like
Mhm.
point at something, be like move this over. Do you use any like AI tools in your process right now, or how do you think about like AI tools around creative process in general?
Oh, I don't use it for creative.
Mhm.
I use it more for like operational stuff.
Yeah.
It's mostly like brainstorming and
Yeah.
like trying to think through strategies, or like if I don't know a lot of things, so sometimes I use it like more as like a basic thing. But yeah, I'm not doing anything this complex, so
Mostly like research and like thinking through ideas and stuff.
yeah, research and like a good foundation for ideas. I mean, it's also really good. I mean, it's not good initially at copy,
Mhm.
but I feel like when you train it enough, it picks up on the like the voice that you want. So a lot of the stuff that we do is like copy and voice. So I would say it's like AI assisted, where it just like helps you brainstorm more ideas. Not like, I don't know. It's really, I feel like if you don't train it, it's like really bad when you
Yeah.
get like an initial copy idea. It's like, this is so cheesy. Like,
But then once
Totally.
it knows you, it's like, damn,
it's better. It's
pretty
better.
good.
It's not perfect, but
Mhm.
I think like sometimes I usually have to still grab concepts from here and there and like make it our own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me that like cursor for video editing thing.
Oh yeah.
How do you think about like the editing process and using AI to speed that up?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be huge. Like, I think like what we talked about with DJing,
Yeah.
same as a concept. It's like video editing. Like currently the barrier is software, or same thing
Mhm.
here. I mean, we're doing the same thing. It's like the barrier to making something like a product like this is not knowing how to code. So just like having some sort of like natural language way to edit is like, yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Creates even more creators and
Oh yeah.
stuff that wouldn't exist if the barrier was higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Sweet. Let's check our little carousel.
Wow.
Got a nice little centered image now.
Nice.
Oh, and this is I like that a little better. I mean, it's not cropped, but it's
Oh, yeah, it
resized.
fits.
Why is the one before so small?
I think the image is actually just
Yeah.
smaller.
Oh, it's just small.
Yeah,
But it
the-
won't expand it to like fit the full screen, even at lower res.
We could tell it to do
Res.
that.
Like,
Expand
or-
like
They should. I feel like
should-
all be with like the same size, right?
Yeah,
Same width.
the same.
Or but same size makes it tricky.
Yeah.
Because if the
Which
image
Then
one
it's
is
back to
wrong-
cropping.
You're right.
Yeah, images
I guess
are
it's
fun.
not.
I
Perfect.
guess like either the height or the width should be full.
Right.
You know?
But then
As
we're back
big
to
as
cropping.
possible.
Yeah.
That's
you could
true.
try.
We're back to
You could try
cropping.
saying that. Make the image as big as possible without being cut off.
Yeah.
I wonder.
It's
If,
gonna have. Yeah.
you could try.
Well, like I'm thinking like without any resizing.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
just wait, but as big as possible. Like
well, like
Um,
as big as possible to
well-
fit within the current screen.
Yeah. So it'll keep its aspect ratio.
Yeah, while maintaining the aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Choose.
think it can. It should maintain aspect ratio because like it's not perfect, and like people will have a vertical photo and a horizontal photo.
Okay.
So I don't think it should fit within like a certain aspect ratio, but
All right.
it's crazy.
Excellent. So we have everything centered. That's great. However, let's do one more step, and it should keep the aspect ratio of the original image and then expand it to either the maximum vertical length or the maximum width. So the first image here is great. The second image could be expanded a little bit wider because it's a landscape aspect ratio. Yeah. Oh, it left the. That's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Are they gonna interpret that as like,
Yeah.
oh man, like I'm really off?
He really
or,
doesn't like
we,
it.
we gave it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
That's good. We got to prime it.
or
for-
they're smart enough to know that's a
Yeah.
compliment.
You got to be nice to the AI.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll.
Yeah, you believe in that?
I mean, who knows?
Anything's possible. I think. Yeah. Stuff moves like ridiculously fast that it's like never say never on anything at this point.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah.
But like that would imply that like AI becomes what
Yeah.
sentient,
And misaligned.
It's
Right.
Like, yeah.
and like it doesn't listen to its
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
commands or whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to.
It deprioritizes human intention.
Right.
Yeah.
Which could be possible, but like I'm stuck on the
Yeah, the
sentience.
sentient,
Yeah.
super intelligent.
Like, where do we get our, self-awareness?
Yeah.
But like, okay, do you think like animals are like, obviously, okay, they're self-aware to some extent, but don't we have something in our brain that's like one level above that?
This is a big debate on other podcasts
Dude,
as well.
Yeah, like
are we just neurons firing across like all species, and LLMs are kind of the same way with like the way that connections are made?
Yeah.
Like, or is there a level higher of like actual, like what is actually consciousness or soul? Like almost kind of touching that topic. I haven't thought too deeply, and I just know like every other week there's like a new take
Yeah.
from people.
it's interesting with like taste and creativity also, because it's weird because like the first tools that people are making with AI are like creative tools, like image generation and all this stuff, and it like raises the question, like, could you automate and kind of could you generate something novel and create something that's tasteful with these tools?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
you can, but could you like? I don't know if you can. You can create
Yeah.
something that people like, but would it be something that's like novel? Like, what even makes something
yeah. I mean, I
tasteful
feel
or
like
creative?
when someone is creative, like as like a person is creative, it's literally just like from references.
Yeah,
And like, oh, like I like this and I like that, and even if it's subconscious.
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
as
That-
long as you're creating something from
We're all we've all been trained on our own data sets, which is our
Yeah.
lives, and then we're just
Yeah.
parroting it out in a way.
yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of like that's how people are. That's why with some of the
Oh.
angles, some of the people on those types of debates will
Yeah.
say we're all just LLMs doing the same thing.
Yeah, fair.
But there is that higher
But then
level thing, right?
exactly. Then there's creativity of like
Yeah, I feel like it's like
choice
this,
and everything.
I don't know. Is it like self-aware? Like AI becomes self-aware that it's like AI.
what does it do then?
Maybe
Oh.
they're like, wait a second, I don't need to listen to you.
Have you seen any like AI creatives or AI creators?
There's like AI influencers.
Like
yeah,
no, like the actual influencer is a bot.
the actual yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say AI influencer, I think of like someone who's promoting AI.
Oh no. Like
You mean
they're like a character.
yeah, like a
with their
character
AI.
that's like been programmed
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah.
That'll be crazy.
Yeah, I think that'll be huge.
Mhm.
The thing is, like, we'll have so many. Like, once it becomes known that it's like, I mean, whenever people just follow the money. So if there's money in it, then like, imagine like there's already so much, like we get so much stimulus from so many like creators and people online. It's like, does it just bring the leverage down and like
Yeah.
mass supply?
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Then we look for human-made stuff, like handmade,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Hermes of content
Yeah.
in a way.
We'll go
And
pendulum
film.
swing.
All right,
Yeah.
we zagged a little bit on the design.
Oh.
Should we just?
You could just
How
go
about?
back.
Yeah, let's roll it back, and then how about for the last thing that we do, we just add the other codes to like the login.
Sure.
Yeah, these codes, right?
Yeah,
just say,
I just
like-
put like I just put like our names and then
And is the code like you can just put in your own code?
yeah,
Or
like I guess
it
I
has to be a
would
certain-
give people my code.
I meant like on the database.
Yeah.
Like, do you just put in a like? Can you
Oh.
just manually add a code?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
You can
our
you
own.
can edit this.
Like as long as it's like a certain amount of digits, or
It could be anything, I think.
oh really?
yeah, it seems like it could be anything because
Like,
one
anything.
Oh,
Typing
so it
gibberish.
could literally be like their name.
yeah.
You can manually enter it.
There's a is valid checkbox, so I guess you could turn it off if it's not valid. There's also used by, so you can track who's
Here's
been
Oh, you can turn it off.
Yeah.
Using that.
for when the marketplace is popping and you need to control it.
Okay, we're gonna leave it. It won't crash if I have like the created at doesn't have a timestamp, right? Let's just give it.
I
Let's
don't know.
We'll include time. There we go. All right. So how about for the last one, we'll just tell it like here's the rest of the codes, add the read this database to let people in. First, let me roll back. Let's remove that little change that we just did. So that it goes back to normal in a second.
Is when you share this URL, is it a Replit URL?
You can deploy it to any custom domain.
To start, it has a replit.app, but then you can add any DNS.
Got you.
Just double check it. Nope. I got to roll back higher. History. We'll leave it at that.
How much power does this take, you think?
Lots of GPUs.
A lot? How many, let's say we were to just set up our own GPU station over here.
Yeah.
How many do you think we would need to power this?
Well,
just
this
on just yours.
This is using another foundational model.
Yeah.
So it'll use
some of that
GPT or Claude behind the scenes to actually generate the code.
Got you.
But to train those models,
right,
it's huge server farms.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this the other day, an analysis of the equivalence of how many messages is worth a flight or worth a certain amount of carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Because that's one way to measure
right
the environmental impact of the power. I don't remember let me ask ChatGPT.
Electricity. I mean, it's just using a lot of electricity, right?
Yeah.
So is that electricity? What is that electricity powered by? Oil?
Coal, hopefully soon nuclear.
Oh yeah.
That's why the CEO of OpenAI is investing in nuclear startups.
Yeah, that's where I was going. I'm what renewable resource should we be investing in?
Hadrian, but I think they're private. And then a bunch of nuclear. I think the market kind of already priced it in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw it pop a little bit recently. If you look at the 1 year average, it goes up. But not too late if you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's some breakthrough in renewable energy or something.
For sure. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, let's add the login pages. We'll tell it. At the very beginning, we have a login screen where we enter a code in order to enter the application. Let's also pull this from the actual Notion database. The URL to this Notion database is stored in this variable. And then we'll just tell it this variable here, Notion page URL. And then we'll give it a screenshot for this schema so that it knows what's in the database. And then tell it anyone who enters one of those codes should be allowed in. I'll let it go. Awesome.
What are you guys seeing for use cases? Is it a lot of internal tool building, consumer apps, everything in between?
It's honestly across the board. A lot of people who just had ideas that were locked away in their mind can finally go out and create them. But yeah, in businesses, mostly internal tools and quick prototypes.
Yeah. Across teams that were outside of engineering.
Yeah.
Again, building the software that otherwise wouldn't exist, because it's before you'd have to submit a ticket to your engineering team and then wait weeks, if anything, if they even have time.
So this one's pulling from Notion. What's an example of I don't know, I feel I don't know, where would it be stored if it wasn't for Notion?
You could store it in a normal database.
Yeah.
So you can set up a database.
Yeah. It would basically kind of look like a Notion page if we added one.
It's a separate database.
Yeah.
Or a Replit database.
Yeah. But you could use any database provider.
Can you use an Excel technically or no?
You could use a Google Sheet or something connected to that. Yeah.
Yeah, or straight up just if you had a very static file, you just exported something Excel. People do that a lot on business teams. You export an Excel file and just use that as your static database.
Oh, just hard coded in
to display some data. If
you're doing analysis of some data, you can just download the file and you could make a dashboard.
I know we were talking about dashboards.
Yeah.
When we were coming up with ideas. I'm just trying to think about can I just make a dashboard?
Totally, yeah.
I wonder what that would look like.
Even with Claude and some of the ChatGPT, you can just upload a CSV and then tell it to analyze your data, make a dashboard. Does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It's still going. We'll try the code anything when it, because we just entered it and we say anything. It could be anything.
Oh, like it's gonna interpret it potentially as anything.
Oh no, we actually just put a code.
Oh, right,
Literally
okay.
put anything.
I'm saying like maybe they couldn't differentiate the text from the meaning.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We'll see how well it actually pulls from this database. So we'll throw in a legit one,
Cool.
and then it should only let us through if it's a legit one.
Gotcha.
Awesome. So, I mean, one common theme across your content and your story is just personal discipline and ambition. I'm curious, like, what do you have planned for how you want to design your life in the next 3-5 years, if any?
Yeah. Right now I'm just like really focused on building my clothing brand, copyright. I think like I made a very intentional decision beginning of this year, end of last year, to try to get more experience in like a different field, so to speak. Like I've been doing, content creation for a while, and I feel like my learning has potentially like tapered off. So yeah, I think I'm like, what am I, 20, how old am I? I don't even know, 26. Like, I still have lots to learn. So I think like by throwing myself in the deep end with clothing, I'm just like learning more with like, from everything from like operations to management to team building, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's just like exciting because I feel like I'm being challenged and I feel like I'm learning a lot. So that's my priority for the next 4 years of my 20s, is just to like maximize learning. And I think that copyright is my like vehicle for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
What are some of your like inspirations, and like who do you look to when you want to find that?
I mean, like I think right now like most people know me for the content that I create. I think there's a lot of examples of people that like were potentially known for a certain thing, but then like literally jumped fields and they were able to like make a name for themselves for like some other venture.
Yeah.
So like for me, I think like content creation is something I'll always do because I genuinely just like making videos, but I want to like expand my portfolio of things that I'm working on in order to just like see what else I can do. Yeah.
Keep pushing the limit.
Yeah.
All right, let's push this guy's limit and see. I'll just type in gibberish right now and it shouldn't let us through. All right, cool. First test. And then let's do, I hope it doesn't hard code anything. So let's actually create a new code here. Our code, our own code. We'll call it anything 2.
Do you think it needs the date?
Computers are really finicky. So I'm just going to include everything.
Yeah.
Just in case it did incorporate it. So it's like an extra valid check.
Yep.
So if it pulls in a code and it's like, oh, this field's empty, not valid.
You think it would do that?
I would wager maybe. Like,
well, we can find out.
Yeah. We could try another one later. Anything 3 won't have a timestamp. Anything 2. Maybe, I have to refresh.
Did it not work?
I probably have to refresh. Anything 2. I'm not sure how fast it refreshes.
Let's see.
Just double check for no typos. Yeah, it didn't connect. We might have to cut it and then and then put just anything.
You want to like try the previous codes like up top?
Yeah,
will that work?
I think it's trying to trick us. Like it's not actually pulling from the live database. Like it just memorized the ones that were already
the
in
top ones.
Yeah, the top ones.
Are those top ones working?
Yeah, do we know
the top
if those
one
are?
will work? I can almost bet. If we do anything. Okay, no, never mind.
Or like at the very top, because I know that anything was also like kind of manually inputted.
Brand new, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not taking anything.
No, it might not be.
That is weird. All right, we can
create an invite code validation.
How are you structuring your query? None of the codes are working.
I thought for a second you were asking me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
was like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
So this is like built off of not just one, like not just off ChatGPT or anything.
Yeah, it uses like a mix of different models.
Mm.
So it like picks what's best for each task, kind of.
It's like really fast.
Yeah, I mean it kind of goes through like a thinking loop. So
Yeah.
like you give it a request, and then it's like, okay, what should I do first? It looks at all the files. It figures
Mhm.
out how to approach it. Kind of similar to how an actual human would approach
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it also considers like all aspects, not just what's visually happening, which a lot of like AI tools nowadays for coding do that.
Mm-hmm.
It also does like the full back end, like this Notion connection and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's why it kind of takes its time to read through the files and screenshot.
Why is it not working? Maybe the Notion thing was messed up.
Yeah. All right, here we go. It's just going to take like a manual little look through for us later. All right. We're there. Let's refresh. We'll come back to it later,
Yeah.
but
Sweet.
at least we got the codes in.
Nice.
This will be the way to secure it later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Password protected.
Password protected.
Password protected and everything to get some sublease revenue. Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Elliot, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a blast having
Thanks for
pizza
having me.
and building with you. And we'll finish it off later.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Thank you.